Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. But before we discuss current affairs, I have something from one of our student friends. As is the case, we have, removed the name of the guy who sent this mail. This is about, the student has raised a few questions. It came, this week. There are some questions concerning why the RBI is purchasing so much gold, why is gold called God's money, or is it good to invest in gold? If yes, then in which type of gold entity, like physical gold or in gold, gold bond schemes? Please throw light on this. Now, before that, the person has written, thank you for starting the YouTube series. It's very beneficial. We are thankful to you for watching this. Thanks for the feedback. And now, I will not focus on whether you should invest in gold or not, because we are not investment advisors and we will not want to get into that kind of a role as well. And, these two questions, why is RBI purchasing, gold, and why is gold called God's money? And is it, we could add one more question. Is it good to invest in gold? These three questions will be discussed in the next class. But I'm going to focus on gold in this class. Before I discuss current affairs, I want to bring to you why gold. Why are, people in ancient times settled on gold? And even today, why would we settle on gold? Gold is a universal currency. After cash, it's the most liquid assets. Okay, in fact, people would prefer to, invest in gold than put money in an FD or stock, shares, mutual funds, and other stuff. Why people invest in gold? Now, why did our ancients choose gold? See, the qualities of a good currency are these four. It has to be stable. It has to be portable, it has to be non-toxic, and it has to be fairly rare. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring to you a short talk on why gold and why not rhodium, why not iron, why not, osmium, why not magnesium, why not, lithium. There are reasons for this. See, if you look at the periodic table, that's where you get gold as well in the table, isn't it? Now, the periodic table, it may sound like science, but I'll cut out the science and I'll bring to you a simple understanding of why we settled on gold. If you look at the periodic table, you will find a lot of elements. You can straight away remove some of these elements as something that we cannot use as currency. Gases, for example, gases. Can you use nitrogen? Can you use helium as a currency? No. Precisely because they are difficult to spot. They are everywhere. Now, if you take a vial of, let's say, in this bottle of water, okay, there is a certain gas, but it's colorless. If it's colorless, obviously, you wouldn't know. If I come to you and say, hey, why don't you buy this, why don't you take this, and I would like to, in exchange for this bottle of gas, I would like to buy that particular item. You wouldn't know what is that gas, and you wouldn't know how to place a certain value on that gas, isn't it? Because it's actually precisely, you can't see it. Now, if I may say that it's X gas, you may say, no, it doesn't appear to be X gas. It's something like Y gas. Now, there is no certainty about that, isn't it? That's one. Two, what about alkaline material elements? Alkaline, like you have lithium, sodium, potassium. They are very reactive. Alkaline are very reactive. And anything that is reactive is not good, my friends. It is not a good thing for a currency. I'll bring to you a few more things. What about liquid elements? There are two liquid elements. One is bromine and the other is mercury. Mercury is something that all of us are familiar with. Okay. So, we have removed gases. We have removed, alkaline. Where? Liquid assets. Now, what about liquid? Liquid elements, the problem is that they are poisonous. Both are poisonous. So, we can strike through this as well. What about, what about something like radioactive? Yeah, we have radioactive. See, this doesn't, it doesn't take a genius to tell you all these things. All that you have to do is, my friends, find out why is radioactive not done. Because radioactive materials like, you have uranium, plutonium, and all these are cancerous. They are cancerous. You can't carry them around because they are toxic. They are all toxic. So basically, for the simple reason that you can't carry uranium in your pocket and say, hey, I'm carrying uranium, because it could lead to cancer, isn't it? So now you have a lot of these things. You can look at something more now. You can look at iron. What is that? Iron. You could look at lead. Okay, the problem with these two is that they corrode, they rust. They rust, iron rusts, lead corrodes. So, they say in Hindi, jang lag jati hai. Okay, so this is, a currency cannot see that, its value goes away, it goes down, because it has to be stable. The currency value has to be stable, isn't it? So it's not stable here. Okay, so if you look at a few more things, so we can actually remove this as well. Why don't we look at something, what's left now? Let's look at what's left. What's left? Few things like palladium. We have platinum. We have osmium. We could look at rhodium. We could look at iridium. We could look at one more thing, gold. Yeah, why not gold? Why not silver? Isn't it? Now, the problem is, my friends, that, these are all noble. They are called noble things, basically. Why noble? Noble elements, because they are, they barely react with other things, which is a good quality. But the problem is, they are very rare to find in nature. You could add osmium also. Osmium. Okay. Osmium, these, 4 here, and iridium as well, except for these 2. See, all of them are rare to find. All of them are rare to find. But these, the rest here are very difficult to, they are very rare in quantity, in spread, in availability, which effectively means that you would have to have very tiny quantities. Let's say you have osmium as currency. What would happen? Because it's very rarely available, you could use only a tiny quantity of osmium in your pocket, and small balls kind of thing, small pellets of osmium, and you'll have to carry them around as currency. But the problem is, because they are portable, that's a good thing. Yeah, it's portable, it's stable, it's non-toxic, it's fairly rare, all of them. But the problem is, because of size, they're really easy to lose, isn't it? And they're not widely available also. Not as widely as other thing that we will discuss now. The other thing we will discuss now. So you can actually remove this. In fact, if you look at platinum, okay, platinum, it's very difficult to extract. People will say gold, platinum, silver are the metals that you should own. But the problem is, the melting point of platinum is about 1768 degrees centigrade. That's a lot of melting point, isn't it? Yeah. So, somewhere down the line, you have to appreciate the fact that it is very, very difficult to, very difficult to zero in on one particular thing. Now, we may say that, look, today we have the technology to extract platinum, but how many countries have that? One second thing. Did the ancients, our ancients, have this technology? Not really. Okay, they did not even know what was osmium, isn't it? They did not know what was platinum. Now, there was one more thing, my friends. There is one more thing here. What about gold? So, okay, let's look at what about silver. Silver is good, no doubt about it. But the problem with silver is it tarnishes. It tarnishes. It doesn't have the same value as gold because it tarnishes. It becomes black, especially when it comes in contact with sulfur. Sulfur is in the air, so when it comes in contact with sulfur in air, it tarnishes, so it loses certain value. You must have seen this, our silver utensils turn black. That's tarnishing. Why? Because they come in contact with sulfur in the air, and that's how they lose their color and all that. Now, what's left, my friends? What's left is simple: gold. Gold is left. Okay. Why is gold? Now, because you see this, gold is chemically uninteresting. Chemically uninteresting. That's why it is the thing, choice of metal. And it's fairly rare, not widespread, but still available in enough quantities that people would covet it. Okay, people would want to have it. One more thing is that gold is also preferred because it's golden in color. It's golden in color. Now, I also want you to know something more here, that okay, let's look at this. It can be turned into ingot, bars, small jewelry pieces. It is used in, it has industrial applications as well, isn't it? It has industrial applications, like, it's used in computer chips. It's used in, tooth, basically. In fact, dentistry is the single biggest use, is where the single biggest use of gold goes in. One of the single biggest, top 3 uses of gold is in dentistry. People like to have gold on the tooth. One of this tooth, basically, grandma, someone might have, a ball of, a dot of gold on the tooth, isn't it? Sometimes more than one tooth. So it's teeth they have, golden teeth. So, and gold is not, non-toxic. You could actually have a pellet, you can have a small piece of gold in your pocket and carry it around. So portable, and it's stable. Now, why is a currency stable? See, why is something valuable? Something very simple to understand here. See, let's say I own this watch. It has a certain price. It has a certain price. Why does it have a certain price? Because the society gives it a price. Something is valuable only when the society decides it is valuable. If you believe, or the society believes that this particular thing is not valuable, it has no value. Because you and I decide to give a certain value to a certain thing, it gets that value. Otherwise, it has no value. Okay, because we have decided, we as a society have decided that gold as an intrinsic has an intrinsic value. It has value. The day the entire world decides gold is useless, well, it has no value. It would have no value, my friends. You understand that? It's all about how society looks at it. We call it a board because, you and I call it a board because we have been told it's a board. For ages, it's been, it's been called board. Now, if we say, "No, this is a pencil," if we had been told in our childhood that this is a pencil, we would today be calling it a pencil. Let me clear the pencil, you would say. Because we chose the word board to describe that, that's why it is. So, something has an intrinsic value when you only as society decide it has intrinsic value. And gold is fairly rare. How much gold is available? Well, ladies and gentlemen, not very much. If you take all the gold at home, in the banks, in the RBI vaults, in the bank vaults of the, the US Federal Reserve, everywhere in the world, okay? What the smuggler has, what the jewelry store has, what, your grandma has on a tooth, wherever. If you take all the gold and squeeze that into a cube, it would not, all the gold till date that has been mined in the history of the world would not exceed about 25-meter cube. You got it. 25-meter cube. That's the size of the gold that has ever been mined, that is available. 25-meter cube. Okay, so I spent a lot of time learning these things, and I've had great fun, and I believe that we can, by ruling out other things, why not lead? Because why, it corrodes. Why not iron? It's fairly heavy. So it's not really portable. Yeah, and if you have to carry some, you have to buy a big car, Rolls Royce, you can't carry so much iron, isn't it? As currency. So it's not portable. I hope you got this point. And in the next session, I'm going to discuss why do people invest in gold? What's the investment strategy? See, I will not advise you as to where you should invest your money, but we look at why people use gold. Is it a sensible thing to buy gold? Let us discuss that in the next session. I hope you learned a few good things today, especially in the first few minutes of this session. So let's get on with the business, the usual business of looking at our questions for the week. Gitanas Nausėda has been re-elected the president of Lithuania. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastern Europe and these are Baltic states. You can see these are Baltic states. In green is Lithuania, here is Latvia and Estonia. What you need to appreciate is that these three are called Baltic states. These three are called Baltic states. These are Baltic Sea. And one more thing you could look at is this. You see this here? This is Russia. This is Russia. Yes. This is Russia, but a portion of Russia is here. It's called an exclave. What is it called? Exclave. I have a pen here, but as you see that I have always, used my fingers, whatever works for us, my friends, at the time. So, exclave. You see, this is a water body called Baltic Sea. Now, it has the lowest salinity of all water bodies in the world. Lowest salinity. Let me use white here. It is why it has the lowest. The highest, as you know, is in Dead Sea, in the Israel-Jordan area. But why it has the lowest? Because here a lot of rivers, freshwater rivers drain into this. Freshwater rivers, they bring fresh water. So the salinity goes down. Plus the fact that pretty little water from the oceans come into this part of the world. So overall salinity is very low here. Got it? I just wanted to bring to you a few things, and I wanted to give the names of the presidents here, the leaders here. Chalo, I'll give you. Bulgaria, the president is Rumen Radev. Rumen Radev, that's the president. Latvia has a prime minister whose name is Ivica Silina. Ivica Silina. Estonia, Kaja Kallas. Kaja Kallas. I know it may not really appear to be clear here. It may not be clear. Kallas, Kallas. Belarus, you all would know. Alexander Lukashenko. This is Belarus, my friends. Okay. This is pro-Russia. Pro-Russia. Anti-Ukraine. In Papua New Guinea, major landslides happened across island, the peninsular portion, and a lot of people died. Around 2,000 people have died recently. And this is before I actually discuss. This is Papua New Guinea, my friends. You can see this in yellow here, Papua New Guinea. This is Australia. This is Indonesia. This is all Indonesia. Papua New Guinea. It's a country with, I think, probably the highest number of officially recognized languages. Around 800 languages are recognized as official languages. And its capital is Port Moresby. Yes, its currency is Kina, and its prime minister is James Marape. How is he popular in India? Well, he became popular when he touched the feet of, to take blessings, he touched the feet of Prime Minister Narendra Modi when our Prime Minister visited Port Moresby recently. Okay, that's how you know this place. So, I think that's about it. Not much. I have put everything there. So, which space agency has launched a climate satellite named Pre-5, which is Polar Radiation Energy in the Far Infrared Experiment. So, to study what? Earth's poles. How many poles does it have? So, the Earth has the North Pole and the South Pole. The North Pole is also called Arctic, which is from the Greek root Arkatos. Arkatos means Bhalu, bear. So, in the great, you are in the North Pole, in the sky, you have the Great Bear constellation. That's why it's called Great Bear or Arctic, Arkatos. And because this is opposite of Arctic, it's called Antarctic. Anti-Arctic is Antarctic. Okay, it's easy to learn, my friends. It's always easy to learn. Which African country has signed deals with Reliance, Indian telecom firms and IT companies to to build 4G, fourth generation and fifth generation of mobile telecommunication infrastructure to enhance its telecom capabilities? Ghana has done this. Ghana's capital, I'll focus on capitals here, Accra, because learning about the name of the president, which is Nana Akufo-Addo, is not going to help. Okay, we'll stick to capitals here. Ghana's capital is Accra. Namibia is Windhoek. It's in Southwest Africa. Okay, down there. Algeria, it's in North Africa. The capital is very easy to learn, Algiers. Okay. Ethiopia, nice place to learn about. Ethiopia is Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa. And Kenya, Nairobi. Kenya's capital is Nairobi. NAIROBI, Nairobi. Okay, which Indian gymnast has set a world record, or rather has just won, India's first ever gold medal in the Asian Championships in Tashkent, which, as you know, is the capital of Uzbekistan? Deepa Karmakar, the first ever Indian athlete, to qualify to play, to qualify and participate in the Olympic Games. She participated in the Olympic Games. Unfortunately, she finished fourth by a small, in fact, she lost by 0.15 points. That's it. 0.15 points is what, pushed her, to the fourth place. I know, it's sad. And you know what? She received the Khel Ratna Award, Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award in 2016. Major Dhyan Chand. She's also Padma Shri recipient. Padma Shri recipient. Which team? Okay, IPL. We all are familiar with this. KKR, Calcutta Knight Riders, have won the IPL. This is their third victory, and the first they won in 2012. Then in 2014, now in 2024. So third victory. Okay. Why don't we learn a bit about this? We learn about the most valuable player. Most valuable player was this West Indian cricketer named Sunil Narayan. Sunil Narayan. Okay. Of KKR. Sunil Narayan, N-A-R-I-N-E, Narayan of Calcutta Knight Riders. Then orange cap. Orange cap, is for most runs. Virat Kohli of Royal Challengers Bangalore. And purple cap. Purple cap for most wickets. Harshal Patel. Harshal, H-A-R, I'll write here. Right here. H-A-R-S-H-A-L. Harshal Patel of Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings. I think that pretty much covers our tour of the, our overview of the, IPL this year. Which institution is raising $7 billion to, to tackle challenges like climate change and poverty? The World Health Organization. It is a specialized agency of the UN, and ladies and gentlemen, it was established in 1948, April 7. This is the reason April 7th is World Health Day. April 7th is World Health Day because on this day in 1948, the World Health Organization was established in Geneva. Where? That is where the head office is, Geneva. And who is the Secretary General? You're all familiar with the name of Tedros Adhanom from Ethiopia. Tedros Adhanom from Ethiopia. Okay. I think that's about it. We've been discussing these organizations for quite a long time, so I'll just touch and go. Yeah. So, in fact, last class also we discussed IMF, World Bank and all that. So, we'll just skip that. This is the new short form of UNICEF, the new full form of UNICEF. Okay. There is no international, there is no emergency, simply international UN Children's Fund. What is it? UN Children's Fund. Which football club, FC's football club, has won the 2024 FA Cup? And ladies and gentlemen, that is Manchester United. Manchester United defeated Manchester City in the final. It beat Manchester City in the final. You see, these are all British. These are British tournament actually, and you know, I think because I'm Manchester United is also called Red Devils. There is a nickname. What is it? Red Devils, because of their jerseys and all that. Everything associated with them. Indian peacekeeper Nayak Dhananjay Kumar Singh has been honored posthumously after death with Dag Hammarskjöld Medal by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres in recognition for his service. Now, you know, he was recently killed, and you know, I would want to discuss this guy's name here, Dag. He was the youngest Secretary General of the UN. At the age of 47, he became the Secretary General of the UN in the year 1953. In 1961, he died in a plane crash. He was the UN Secretary General for about 8 years, but he died in mysterious circumstances in what is called the Democratic Republic of Congo. If you watch a film called, and I have watched this film, that's why I would recommend The Siege of Jedortville. It's a true story. The Siege of, I think you would find it on Amazon somewhere. I'm not sure where, but this is a very good film and it's a true story. You would find this plane crash in this movie. I suddenly remembered this actually. Yeah. The Siege of Jedortville. It's a good film. You can watch this with your grandmother also. No problem. Okay. Absolutely no problem. It's a kind of movie that you should be having a lot of fun watching. But it shows how a small band of fighters keep fighting despite, facing a large, number of troops in the enemy camp. This is, again, we have another woman, now this time a woman peacekeeper who's been presented the prestigious United Nations 2023 Military Gender Advocate of the Year. And this is Major Radhika Sen. Major Radhika Sen. She was there in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Probably the most dangerous place in the world for a woman. It's not Afghanistan. It's not, Yemen. It is the DRC, my friends. The DRC, especially in the northeast of the country, has a lot of these, rebels, Ugandan rebels and other rebels, dangerous fellows like M23 group. There is this statistic, an unfortunate statistic, that every 7 minutes a woman is raped here. And it is in this kind of circumstances that Major Radhika Sen worked, empowered those women to come up and fight for their human rights. Yeah. So, in fact, this is Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the UN, who comes from Portugal. This man had commended her that she is the best face of she does the whole UN proud. Yeah. She is the kind of person who should represent the UN everywhere. That's what he said. This is Charles Leclerc, and he drives for Ferrari. He's winning. Now he is said to be the next big name in Formula 1. We have had Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, then Lewis Hamilton, now Max Verstappen. But this guy is believed to be the next big thing in Formula 1. So he comes from a country called Monaco. What is the country? Monaco. Yeah. Tiny country, the second smallest country in the world. Yes, it's about, I think, if I'm not wrong, 2.1 square kilometers. It is true. It is just 2.1 square kilometer big. He drives a Ferrari. This is the logo of Ferrari. You can see here. This is Shell, the logo of Shell, which is one of the world's largest energy companies. This is the logo of Puma. This, my friends, is called Jumping Cat. What is it called? Jumping Cat. The name of the logo is Jumping Cat. Yeah. So, You can find a lot of things. So I think that should be it, my friends. You don't need to worry too much about this. This logo of Ferrari is called Prancing Horse. What is it called? Prancing Horse. Prancing means playful. This was a brand owned by Fiat in the past. Prancing Horse. The logo of Ferrari. Okay. UPS is United Parcel Service. Yes, you heard it right. It sounds yo, but the actual full name is United Parcel Service, one of the two largest supply chain and logistics companies in the world. It's a courier company. You have FedEx. This is slightly bigger than FedEx by some measures. Okay, then we have the RBI having come up with 3 major initiatives recently. And what are these? See, retail direct mobile app is where you can directly buy. People like you and I can directly buy government treasuries, government bonds, basically, treasury bills. Treasury bills are called T-bills, and they have a duration of less than a year. Less than a year, 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days. Okay, so these are the durations of these bonds. Basically, it's a kind of fixed deposit, nothing else. Fintech repositories is that where, this is where you will find all kinds of information, regulatory information that you would want to know about a fintech like Paytm and all that. Prava is an online platform where you could, companies could enter, individuals and companies could apply for all kinds of approvals from the RBI. So what's the full name? It is platform for regulatory application. Platform for regulatory application, validation and authorization. What is that? Platform for regulatory application, validation and authorization. That's the full form of Prava. Okay. The ILO, which is the International Labour Organization, has predicted that global unemployment rate will drop by little under 5% this year. What do you know about the ILO? In fact, this is right. Okay. It was, this is, okay, Humbo belongs to the African country of Togo. If you look at Africa like this, okay, this is where Togo is. It's a tiny country. In fact, actually, it is as big as this line here. Yes, you should find, why don't you find out basically? Okay, this is Togo. And what I would want you to know is that why all of these are right. The ILO was started in the year 1919, and this happens to be, ladies and gentlemen, the oldest UN body. The oldest UN body is the International Labour Organization. Okay. Name the Indian private space startup that has successfully carried out a suborbital test flight of its own 3D printed. They actually printed 3D, 3D printed. They built a 3D printed, what do you call, space rocket, cryogenic rocket. Cryogenic is basically cooled, cold temperatures, study of cold temperatures and all. Agniban, what did they call it? Agniban. So the company is called Agnikul or Agnikul. I want you to write the names of the founders of this company. See, India has a lot of new companies, space startups like, Skyroot, you have, Agnikul. All these are space, private sector space companies. I want you to write the names of the guys who started this. Moin, SPM, that is the name. And Srinath Ravichandran. Srinath Ravichandran. Fair? So that's how it is, my friends. By the way, I just want you to know, Sriharikota is where you have the Satish Dhawan Space Center. What is it? Satish Dhawan Space Center, India's #1 rocket launch center. This is named after a former chairman of the ISRO, Satish Dhawan. Okay. Sriharikota is on an island in Andhra Pradesh, Chota Island in the Pulicat Lake. The International Day of Peace, UN Peacekeepers is observed on, of course, May 29th. May 30th is Potato Day, International Potato Day. Maybe in the next class, I'll tell you a bit about potato. There are weird things you can learn in our classes, not just general knowledge, not just, current affairs. We can learn a lot of good things. Potato. One more we could look at. May 31st, Anti-Tobacco Day. Anti-Tobacco Day. So, May 30th, Potato Day. May 31st, Anti-Tobacco Day. This should be fine, my friends. As part of operational deployment of the Indian Navy's Eastern Fleet to the South China Sea, INS, Indian Naval Ship, okay, Kiltan, recently arrived in Brunei. Brunei is a small country in Southeast Asia. Okay, if you look at this island here, there is an island. Okay, I think I'll just leave this. This is the island of Borneo. This is Indonesia. This is Malaysia. Within the Malaysian portion, there is a country called Brunei here. This is tiny country. Okay. So, it's an Islamist despotic monarchy, my friends. So, INS Kiltan recently went here and, it's one of the 4 anti-submarine corvettes, warfare corvettes that we have. What are the other 4? Let me bring to you. Kiltan is one. Then we have Kavarati. I don't exactly remember all the names, but I'll try to bring them here. Okay. Cadmet, INS Cadmet and INS Kamorta. In fact, these ships are said to be of the Kamorta class. What is that? Kamorta class. All these 3 ships, there are 4 ships. Third of the 4 P-28 ASW corvettes. Kiltan, Kavarati, Kadmat are islands in Lakshadweep. And Kamorta is an island in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, there are 4 ships here and all 4 are mentioned, named after islands. Okay. So, Kamorta is in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and these ships are called Kamorta class ships. I did get all of them there. Okay, the diplomatic conference on genetic resources and of course associated traditional knowledge has been, has adopted the WIPO treaty. What is the WIPO treaty? World Intellectual Property Organization. What is that? WIPO is World Intellectual Property Organization, which is a UN specialized agency. This is UN specialized agency. Okay, just remember this. It is headquartered in Geneva as are most UN specialized agencies, and it is headed by a Singaporean called Darren Tang. Fair? I think that's about it. Which company has sold its 30% minority stake in subscription television broadcaster Tata Play to Tata Group? Okay, they held this Walt Disney Company. It's called the Walt Disney Company. That's the name of the company. The Walt Disney Company has sold its 30%, whatever shares it held in Tata Play to Tata Group. Yeah, and this is one of the world's largest media and entertainment companies. It's the owner of a lot of things like Hulu and all that. I'll not get there. It's headed by a man called Bob. Its CEO is Bob Iger. Remember this? Bob is Robert. Bob is a nickname of Robert. See, my name is Bharat, but some people call me Bharu. Okay, some people make whatever they call me. What I'm saying is we all have nicknames. Like Manohar is Manu in India. Yeah, we have Sunita, Suni. Yeah, Elizabeth is Eliz or Eliza, like that. Okay, so Bob for Robert, like Bill for William. Okay, so we have all these companies and he's a CEO. Netflix is an American streaming company started in 1997. It was started by two persons, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. You don't require the names. It is one of the very few companies to have two CEOs. Yes, it has two CEOs, co-CEOs they are called. Okay. It's an American company. Dash has become the first former US president ever convicted of a crime after New York journey. Okay, in a hush money case. What's a hush money case? Money paid to someone to shut their mouth, essentially. That's what it means. Okay. I'll not get into the details of this case, but there was this prostitute who's said to have had a relationship with Donald Trump, and just, before the previous campaign, presidential campaign, it is believed that Donald Trump had asked one of his campaign managers, to pay money to her to shut her mouth, not to open her mouth to talk about this this whatever, affair he had with her, basically. Okay. So he has been convicted on all 34 counts. I've been following this case quite on a day-to-day basis, hour-to-hour basis, actually. But he's likely to appeal and all that stuff. Okay. Which country has launched CASA, which is Korea Aerospace Administration? What is it? Korea Aerospace Administration. That's the name of the space agency of South Korea. Korea Aerospace Administration. Like we have ISRO, America has NASA. Yeah. South Korea has CASA, which is, Korea Aerospace Administration. What are the capitals? We have been discussing a lot of things, so we'll stick to simple things here. Pyongyang. Japan, we know Tokyo. Hanoi is the capital. South Korea is Seoul. Thailand is, we all know, Bangkok. Okay. According to the RBI annual report for the last financial year, the Indian economy is likely to grow at dash in the current fiscal year. The current fiscal year started on 1st April, 2024. It's going to end on 31st March 2025. It's likely to grow at 7%. Now, look, all growth rates are subject to market conditions, subject to a lot of, variables like international political scenario, international economic scenario, energy supply, monsoon, okay, in political stability in India, you got that, a lot of things. Inflation is another thing, supply chain issues are there. So it's not very easy to say that, okay, we are going to grow at 7%. There's a lot of math, a lot of variables are taken into account to arrive at this kind of number. Fair? And this may go up or go down. It's just an indicator, basically. I hope you learned a few things about gold, my friends. In the next session, we'll continue our discussion on the gold issue. We'll spend about 5 minutes there, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Stay curious.